You ever been in your class and feel as if you're lost, or you brain and being trained to master something it naturally can't do? Well, you might be good at something other than mastering algebra equations in mathematics, chemical reactions of chemistry, or a wood project from technology class. In class, everyone is told to put on a uniform, sit down, and listen for several hours. Taking notes, doing homework, attending sports, and art practicals. These instructions are given to everyone as a normal activity that a normal learner must participate. All students in there are surely different skills, different personalities, different backgrounds, and different interests. But no one pays attention. They're all taught to do the same thing and think alike. It's important for one to have access to literacy and be able to read and write, but what good comes out of keeping a student good in art and creation in a chemistry class doing chemical reactions? A geography teacher enters the class and gives humiliation to a student who couldn't identify the difference between nimbus and cumulus clouds. The same student would ace an accounting class like an expert and get medals and certificates. Enza realized this. It's like putting a fish, an eagle, and a cheetah on land and tell them to race. Of course, a cheetah will win the race. It's powerful on land. What about in the water? The fish will definitely win the race. And of course, the eagle will spread its wings and conquer the air. You can't be teaching a fish how to fly. Everyone is lost because they are running a race they were not meant to run. All in the same boat, regardless of individual strong points. All expected to achieve the same results and excel in the same territory that began within the school system. Enza, a naturally gifted artist, he would craft amazing drawings and paintings, getting awards and representing the school in art competitions. He was a talented artist. However, he would struggle with his mathematics and chemistry. Naki, his longtime friend, was a chemistry expert. She would often ace most exams. Naki, however, would often struggle with creative arts. It was her worst. Enza would help Naki with her art projects, while she would also teach him chemistry after class. They both knew each other's strengths and weaknesses. Much to surprises, Naki didn't naturally like school, but intelligently understood chemistry. In class, she would often be sleeping, come late, getting into trouble with teachers, skip few classes to go play netball, and still pass her exams. Enza would often come to school early, obey teachers, complete homework, and still fail his exams. He would wonder how his Naki, who spent her time playing netball and skip classes, would pass. There's a huge difference. Naki is a naturally gifted, intelligent, competitor, and clever. Those are her strong points. No matter how many times she skips class, she is still intelligent for chemistry and mathematics, proactive. Enza is a naturally gifted artist, able to use his imagination to sketch amazing artworks, no matter how many times he attends class. He is still not intelligent for chemistry studies. He will need to work 10 times more to reach the level of the naturally gifted like Naki. Even working 10 times will still not make him better than the naturally gifted. Naki, however, may be intelligent for chemistry and mathematical. Her personality does not link to people who can be in a chemistry lab researching chemicals every day. It might not look like it, but she's also lost. Only in the netball field, both her personality and intelligence are fulfilled, and physical and mental competition are her strongest points. They both would help each other finish high school, and because of society norms, they enter university. There's thousands of other who are lost. A fish that was supposed to be swimming and a bird that was supposed to be flying just enter a university hall with cheetahs, tigers, lions that are running on the land. Many are not aware. Some chose to ignore it. They are too blinded. Some pay attention and become aware, like Carla, who dropped out of university years ago. When she was 19 years old, she was often taken to school, choirs, and music instrumental classes. Her family has a musical background and was known around the city. Her parents always wanted her to carry the legacy, be the next best singer. She would be taken to special art rooms, music instruments practices, that without even asking about her interests or paying attention to her personality, skills, or talents. While her family members watching musical awards, she would often go to her room, watching politics and economy documentaries. She was interested in trading, politics, economy, and how investments work. She would often skip her musical classes to go to libraries reading history books. Instead of her room to be packed with guitars and violins, it was full of posters about stock markets, asset allocation, and compound interest. She even sold her piano to purchase a money box so that she starts saving and test her relationship with money. Her parents got angry and took her books, money box, and take away her posters. Did they ask about her reasons? No. Did they ask about her interests? No. They tried to put her in a lost path. They were trying to put a fox in water. It can't swim, but is good with hunting. After a few years of dropping out of her musical studies, she left her parents' house to go learn more about investing and later started her investment program 10 years later. Naki and Enza are one of the students being funded by the Carla funding program. In their first year of studies, Enza and Naki would completely ignore their natural talents, natural interests, and set aside their personality to blend in with the rest of the chemistry students, as if they were wearing masks. Each day was a challenge, but because of other varsity students, they couldn't see that they are lost. They are trying to fit it and be seen as normal university students. After all classes of the day, Enza would get home and feel as if his brain just came from fighting a war it knew it wouldn't win, but would wake up to go attend more classes because he wanted to belong. In his mind, he was thinking, I did pass my chemistry in school. If pass all my modules, I will make my parents proud. Convincing himself, like a programmed fish that is trying to run with cheetahs. What about his interests? His natural artistic talents? He could be in an art gallery representing his artworks and crafting his sculptures without feeling like it's a chore, but that's a route he threw away when in class they told him, study hard, and you'll get a good job and have a great life. Your drawings won't take you to varsity, as if it should be like that. He was put in a path that completely closed his natural destiny. He was lost and was afraid to tell Naki because he was scared of judgment. However, Naki was also lost. She seemed happy whenever she would continue passing her exams, not after her tutor, Mr. Van, would spot her weaknesses. Mr. Van is a chemistry and pharmacy tutor. He is an expert, but would often see Naki had more interest in sports than her research project. Mr. Van was interested in her intelligence, her ability to understand his lessons. They were compatible intellectually, but personality and interests set them apart. Naki would soon graduate. Of course, she made her parents proud. But deep down, she felt like an eagle that just accepted to keep walking on land and not use its wings to fly. She would later become an intern. Whenever she was on her way to her internship, she would pass girls playing netball and wishes she could switch places with them. She could have been a professional athlete, but chose to excite the society. Does society know about her dreams? No. Did they ask about her interests? No. Did they pay enough attention to her natural talents? No. Did they care about her personality? No. Mr. Van, on the other hand, as a tutor, only just saw an intelligent chemistry student he can teach, selling her a dream to be the best chemist. He is known as a master pharmacist with many qualifications, respected as the most educated. However, he hated his life as a student. Group assignments used to make him feel unheard. He would often ditch his group members on a chemistry project to attend business seminars, connecting with entrepreneurs, and do research on business. He would hate his meetings with other fellow tutors and lecturers at university. Regardless of his many certificates, go to a lecture hall to teach 500 students felt like he is going to war he didn't sign for. He hated students. He would often get into arguments with the university dean for not finishing marking student assignments in time, not finishing full hours in the lecture hall, and barely even getting fully involved conducting exams for his students. His students would feel as if they were being given a summary instead of full lecture. That is, Mr. Van never put his full attention to his classes, never even following up to the topics he taught. His students often reminded him for most of the things he was supposed to know and teach. The society knew him as the master PhD of chemistry, but his soul was tied down to entrepreneurship. He had no interest in being a teacher, rather a leader of some big company. Known as the Master PhD, it was like an identity given to him, not the identity based on his natural interest, natural talents, or personality. He remained lost. Enza, still a student under Mr. Van, kept on failing to graduate. This is then he was spending more of his time around other artists. Rappers, graffiti artists, and digital animators. However, by the time he was starting to blend in, they were far ahead of him since they stick to their talent from high school. When Enza was trying to improve his chemistry, they were known as school dropout who spent their youth in studios. Enza was questioning himself, if only I should have joined them. He could have been part of the band, shining with art and creation. Not only he got into a lost path, he wasted his potential, his talents, and the time is gone. Everyone is lost because they failed to pay attention to their true calling and went ahead with what the society normalized. Few were able to escape. Many remained lost. Thank you. Subscribe for more.